So in this video, we've got something a little bit different. Still electrics, but we're doing it on a van. Now this guy wants some LED lighting all around here, a diesel heater, and an AC hookup socket for when he goes to campsites. So what we've got here is we've got a bed and that in here. So we're going to put the diesel heater somewhere, possibly in here, with a leisure battery that will control the lights, because obviously when the lights are being used in the evening, we don't want it to drain the main battery, so when he goes to start it and go home, yeah, you're stuck there. And what we've got in here is the diesel heater with the diesel tank. We've got the battery, some LED lights, and a hookup charging point. So let's start putting this all together and see how it works. Right, well, I've got this for the battery along here that's going to go along in here. It comes under the seat for now, because I've got the battery under the driver's seat. Under the freaking driver's seat. How am I going to get to that? But that will take the live, well, basically the positive and the negative, to the leisure battery that's going to be in the back. And now, because then what I also want to do is put a switches here for the lights and an isolator for the diesel heater, with a battery isolator, so we can turn the battery off so it doesn't drain the main battery. So yeah, there's quite a lot going on, and we've got to put all this in as well. Alright, so I've got my little socket in there. Well, that's not going to be a socket, that's going to be the switches, and that's going to be the isolator for the battery. I'm going to put a socket and a USB thingamabob job up there. I've snapped that by mistake, trying to get it off. It's glued on good. And then I also wanted to do is put an AC point in, basically for hookup points. I wanted to have a look through the back light. Can't get through there, so I'm going to drill out that part. Yeah, I know, I'm a bit cautious about drilling out that, because it is going to bubble the paint, ruin the paintwork. One way to find out. Right, well, I've decided I've got to cut that out to fit that in, and I've got the AC hole up there. Dropped a few drill bits, dropped all my ferrules everywhere. So yeah, there's a lot of mess been made, and I don't feel like a lot of progress, but I'm getting there. Right, so I've got this socket in, and I've realised that if we did it before this was in, it would have been a lot easier. So I've had to come round, and I'm going to clip that to that socket. But this looks quite smart. It's still a bit wet, I've got to seal it around the edges, but that is your hookup point for caravans. Spot on. Alright, so we've got a heater fitted in place and all the wiring ready to go. We've just got to tidy that up. Got to tidy a lot up, to be honest, and a good hoover. State of this. So now, yeah, we're going to tidy the wiring up back to this and concentrate on getting that bit done, I think. We've got these cables up to the lights, and we've got the controllers on for the heater. The isolator is on for the battery, and now we're going to wire on. So we've got the heater control on, and we've got the isolator on for the battery, which that is on, that is off, spot on. And now we're going to put an isolator for the heater and two lighting circuits, basically two for down the sides, and then one up here for when you're reading and stuff like that, if you're falling asleep at night. And then yeah, what we've got is the MK grid for that, because I wanted to do 20 amp isolators and have a nice 3-gang grid, so I can put stickers on to show what they are, so that'll look nice and neat in there. And yeah, I got a second fix them sockets and things as well. So still plenty to do before we turn it on and test, basically. I fit in it thinking, yeah, these are MK. They're not, they're bleeding Hager. I've only noticed from the little bit on the cover plate. You need to wash. But they're all in. So that's going to be the isolator for the heater. That's going to be reading lights, main lights. So then if anyone walks in, they can put them on. So that's the plan. Oh, I can't wait for it to be warm in here. Right, let's get the lights up. So I'm still in a mess, but I'm getting there. I've got the 2 lighting circuits up with the alley track on. I've got to get another bit for that side, didn't have enough. So I'm going to get these lights in while that's warming up and hopefully get these on. So we're getting there. I've just hooked up the leisure battery, little one there, look, just to make sure it all works. We've got the fan going, but with these, leave them on for a little while because the fuel's got to get through. I'll show you. The fuel's got to get from there over to here. So it's got to pump the fuel and sort of purge it a bit to get it going. But we do have the lights, and I want to put a label on that to make sure that, and I want to put a label on that one to make sure that no one switches it off. So we've got the lights, this one, and this one. So now we're getting progress, and it feels like we're getting progress. So, say 9 degrees on there. So then when we eventually get it heated up, we'll see what it heats up. We'll shut the doors, have a chillax. So we're getting there. We've got the reading light, that little one on. We've got the main lights, they're all on. And now we've got to tidy it up and make it look presentable. Possibly get rid of this somewhere, all this dirt and all my kit, because the heater comes on as well. But let's tidy it all up, and then, oh yeah, I've got to connect the battery to the mains. So let's tidy it all up and check it out, close the doors, see what it's like. And I'll run through exactly what I've done and why I've done it, why I've put a leisure battery in, and how it's gonna continuously keep charging when the car's driving. Right, now we're all done. I've got to pop back tomorrow because, yeah, obviously I didn't have enough of that trunking to go all the way along there. But the lights are all soldered and on. Basically what we've got, well, what we'll start with first is the heater. So this is an isolator for the heater controls, and what we've got, it turns this on down here, which is controls, but we've also got a little remote. But if we're laying in bed, I suppose we can turn it on, and that will start the heater going in there, which is ducted out and up into here. But it doesn't start instantly. You've got to let it sort of, how do you call it, purge itself, get a bit of diesel and warm itself up, get the fan running to make sure it works properly. So we've got that. And then what we also have is, this is just a reading light. So if you're laying in bed, you don't want all the lights on, you can just have that light on when you're reading a book, because I think that'll be spot on. So that was my plan for that. But we've got plenty of light in here for if you're making dinner or eating dinner or watching the iPad or watching telly, doing something like that. But then what we've also got is this isolator. This isolator, when it's off, basically it runs on this little leisure battery down here, which I put that in because if you're sitting in bed and you don't want, and you want the lights on, but you have them on for so long and the lights might go flat, you might leave them on overnight and then your van goes flat. So you want to be able to isolate the power for it. So that's my plan. But what I've also done, to go round and start the van up. So now, if we go round, start the van up. Oh, crap over me. So the van is now running. And obviously, when the van's running, it's charging the battery. So then, what we've got is a little voltage indicator. So we've got 12 volts on that leisure battery. But then if we switch this on, the lights went a bit brighter. Basically, that's charging the battery whilst we're going along. Look, 14.1. So basically, we can charge the leisure battery whilst we're going along. And then when we're not going along, sort of thing, then yeah, we don't need it. So let's get, I have to get some more silicone as well. But then now the heater is going. So that's starting out, it's purging. What we've also got is our tank around here. You can fill that with diesel, but to be honest with you, it doesn't use a lot of diesel at all. So that is it for now. We can see on here, it's going up. I'm not sure what all this means. 14.2 volts, 59 centigrade, that's maybe the engine. 9 degrees, that's what it's saying it is in here, because it is a bit chilly. So then now, all we want to do, that is kicking out heat already. That is getting nice and warm, and it'll warm up this space quite easy. So that's a bit of a different job for me today, but I think the customer's going to be happy. Till next time.